Would y'all like to see one a little bit more up close?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see if I can get one of these out.
Are these poisonous or?
The ones in the center are venomous. These are 3 of the 6 venomous snakes that we have in Florida. The pygmy rattlesnake, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, and the cottonmouth or water moccasin. And in addition to that, we also have timber rattler, copperhead, and...
Which one is copperhead?
We don't have one here.
Okay.
But that is one of the 6 that we have in Florida. Copperheads tend to be very localized. If you have them, you know, but they're not real widespread.
Yeah, we have that in Georgia. And recently my neighbor had been bitten by one.
Oh, really?
Right.
Even farther away now.
Yes.
Okay. I wish she would come. I'd really like to talk to her about these. Okay, this is a gray rat snake, or what people locally call an oak snake. And it's a constrictor, which means that when it catches its prey, it catches it with its mouth, and then it wraps its body around the prey and basically suffocates its prey. All snakes have some way of subduing their prey before they swallow it, because snakes don't chew their food, they swallow whole. So if you had something that you were trying to swallow and it was trying to get away from you, that would make it a lot more difficult. So different snakes have different methods of subduing their prey. Venomous snakes have venom so that they can, when they bite, they inject that venom into the prey and it stops them from trying to get away from them. Constrictors wrap their bodies around their prey and suffocate it, again, to keep it from getting away. The snake on the far end down there on the bottom is an indigo, and it actually doesn't use either of those methods. It uses just its strength, the strength of its jaws and its body to subdue its prey. But the snakes are not being mean when they do that. That's just how they eat. You know, it's the method that they have to be able to control and then swallow their food. This is a very common snake around here. We have them wild on the grounds out here. In fact, she's walking around. She may come across one of these while she's walking.
Oh, don't tell that. We won't finish our visiting.
It's called either a gray rat snake or an oak snake, O-A-K, like the tree. And you can
it's not
see,
venomous, right?
Non-venomous. I would not be holding it if it was a venomous snake. Like I said, it's a constrictor. And you can see his colors and his patterns, and then you look at the oak bark on the trees, you can tell how well he would blend in if he was up in a tree. And these are very good climbers.
Do they climb the stairs?
Sure. This snake can climb straight up a tree if he wants to.
Wow.
Or up a post, and sometimes you'll find them up in rafters and things like that. If you look at the scales on the bottom, they look a lot different than the scales on the top of their bodies, and that's because these are the scales that allow them locomotion. And if you look at them, they look a lot like the track on a tank or a bulldozer or something, and that's how they work. As they contract their muscles, those scales kind of grab into whatever it is that they're moving across. And you see him flicking his tongue around. You'll hear people say a lot that snakes smell with their tongues. I don't really like that terminology, because, you know, smell you think of as inhaling, you know, and I think a better way of describing it is that they taste the air. And when they're sticking their tongues out, there are molecules floating all around in the air. They collect that on their tongue, then they draw it back into their mouth, and they have a little indentation up on the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ that their tongue fits into. And then that organ takes the information from those molecules and sends signals up to their brain, and they can tell if there's a warm-blooded animal out in front of them or something. So they use that to help them hunt. And it's split, and they can actually tell direction. If they're picking up more sensation on one side of their tongue than the other, then they know they need to crawl off to the right or to the left to find what it is that's putting off those signals, those molecules.
Even though it is not venomous, could it hurt?
If it bit you, it would hurt. Snakes, most if not all snakes have teeth of some kind. I think all snakes have teeth of some kind. And they tend to have pretty strong jaws too. And so, if they bite you, then yes, it will hurt. They just won't inject venom into you. But snakes only bite for two reasons. They bite to eat, and they bite to defend themselves. And that's why when you said a friend of yours got bit, I asked you what the situation was. And the snake got stepped on. So the snake was startled and probably frightened, and so it bit to defend itself. But snakes will not come crawling up to you to bite you. They don't have any reason to do that. And even venomous snakes, their venom is primarily for subduing their prey. So they would rather not waste that on you. So sometimes venomous snakes will even do what's called a dry strike. They'll bite, but won't actually inject any venom when they bite, because they don't want to waste it. It's there for a purpose, and the purpose is being able to eat, being able to get their food.
If they, use their venom, how soon they can reproduce?
I don't know exactly the time, but they do reproduce it, fast enough that by the time they're ready to eat again, they'll have some more. Snakes are reptiles, obviously, and reptiles don't have to eat anywhere near as often as mammals do because they're cold-blooded. Their body temperatures are not self-regulated like ours are. Our body temperature stays the same all the time, and a part of that is due to the calories, the caloric intake in the food that we eat. We eat a lot. You think about how much you eat in a day's time, and we do it every single day. We're burning a lot of those calories up and helping maintain our body temperatures. Reptiles don't have to do that. So even in the summertime when these animals are warm, they only eat once every couple of weeks or so. And in the wintertime, some reptiles go for months at a time without eating anything.
How close do they be threatened if somebody gets to them?
It depends on the situation. There are times when you probably have walked right next to a bush that a snake has been into, and you didn't know it, and they didn't feel threatened, and so there was no problem. Yeah, how are y'all doing today?
All right, how's it going? Do you see the snake?
This is a gray rat snake, or what a lot of people in this part of the world call an oak snake. And this is a very common snake around here. I was just telling these gentlemen this snake is a constrictor, and you can see how he's all wrapped around my hand right now. All snakes have to have a way of subduing their prey before they swallow it. They swallow their prey whole, so they want a way to keep those animals from trying to get away from them as they're trying to swallow them. The venomous snakes do it by injecting venom. The constrictors do it by basically suffocation. And then there are some snakes, like the indigo on the end there, that just use their sheer power, their strength to subdue their prey.